rush what we're doing, but we needed to be more intentional about what we're doing and play a little bit more harder and bring a little bit more energy within those possessions.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Doug Feinberg, go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I'm curious. I mean, were there nerves before the game tonight? I mean, you've obviously coached as an assistant many games, played many games. Were there nerves or sort of trial run the other day helped that a little bit that you kind of did it a week ago as the interim head coach, so to speak?
Right. Yeah, those nerves were still there. I think if I'll be lying if I say I wasn't nervous. You know, this is an amazing opportunity, and you know, I'm still new to it, but yes, that trial run was very important because I just got a rhythm of how I needed to do things, whether it's pregame, preparation with our, you know, talk before the game and things of that nature, just understanding timing. And then obviously, like I talked to you guys about before, just watching the game in a broader way and not tunnel vision on one thing, understanding flow, understanding what we need, understanding communication. So that definitely was super helpful that last week when that was. And again, still nervous because this is very new. I mean, if I didn't have nerves, I'm not going to be human in that manner. But you know, it's once that ball went up and I had an opportunity to kind of just step into that role, they went away.
And just to follow up, I mean, obviously it probably helps having Sue Bird running the show and Stewie out there and Jewel that, you know, they could probably make up for maybe any nerves you had a little bit, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. The comfort that they give me, the trust that they instill within me, and the trust that I have within them. Sue is obviously a coach on the floor. Jewel and Stewie are elite level athletes. And again, sometimes it's just me getting out the way and them kind of working their magic. But, you know, to have those guys have been here and been in a system and understand what we need and in the moment and how to get, you know, us a bucket, how to get us a stop, how to get us motivated. It's just extra help that I really, really need and I really appreciate.
Thanks, Coach.
No problem.
Thanks, Doug. Kevin Pelton, go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Coach, to follow up, did Tina decide to come to this game specifically to be here for your first game?
Yes.
Did you know she was coming?
I did not. We talked yesterday or a couple of days ago. And, you know, she said, man, I need to come up there. And I was like, well, we're not downtown, we're in Everett. And she, you know, I text with her maybe earlier today or maybe yesterday. I can't remember the days. But I looked and I saw her before the game and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Jeff Brown, go ahead, Jeff.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
What is something that really stands out that you're pleased about with this performance? And then what's like one area that you want the team to improve on for the next game?
Yeah, you know, in this league, good teams find ways to just win when it doesn't feel good, when everything is not clicking. And again, I think we're so used to this level of excellence. And sometimes when we don't hit it, it feels like it's like we're not even, you know, doing very good things. And we did, you know, our average of points in the paint was about at 40. We kept them down to 28. We shot 50% from three. Stephanie Talbot did an excellent job on Kelsey Mitchell. We out rebounded them. We kept our turnovers though, and we still scored 88 points. You know what I mean? And so there is this level of that we have to get to with chemistry and flow and all of these things. But we're at a very good starting point. Obviously, defensively, we will continue to work to get better, but keeping them below their averages is so important for us. And you know, only 5 steals, but we forced some turnovers and got some points off of those turnovers. So just building blocks, continuing to grow in what we do on both sides of the floor and continue to have that synergy with what offense and defense, and then with one another.
And then you touched on it just a little bit there. I think both teams kind of had relatively low turnovers, 10 for them, 11 for you guys. Did that limit your guys' ability to get out and transition a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I felt there was lulls to this game. I think we got lulled into their pace. We got, they have an excellent post player in McCowan. And I think they slow it down and they're intentional about giving her the ball. We're at our best when we're moving the ball, getting out and running and playing out of our defense. And it may look a little bit different this year, but we have to find that sweet spot of the pace that we need to play at and the turnovers that we need to generate maybe to get to that pace.
And then last one from me. Did they give you an explanation on Jewel Lloyd's flagrant foul? Because that was a little bit surprising that they called that a flagrant.
Yeah, they said she stepped on her foot, and I was trying to ask what the difference was between the one that Stewie got. I forget who got into her space, but the difference was Jewel stepped on her foot. I know referees have tough jobs. I'm not gonna comment on that, but I'm just happy that we came out here with a win.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And Masvita, why don't you wrap us up, Masvita?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Hey, Coach, just a question on the defense. You talked about the turnovers. Is that just something that's going to take some time in terms of the chemistry as it goes on?
Definitely. Practice time. Obviously, we are without Katie Lou. We haven't had like one complete practice with our entire roster right now. And that will be probably finally on Thursday. But Thursday is not enough to go over every little thing that we need to do defensively. So it's about learning through film, learning through examples of, on the fly in the game, and just finding that chemistry within the game essentially for that group. But yeah, again, it may look a little different. We're a little bit longer. We could be a little bit more creative in what we do. But we will get there. We will definitely get there.
Sorry, is there some excitement there in terms you get to kind of shape how the defense works out? Like you're saying, it's going to look a little different, but you get to kind of mix your potion on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Klopp has done a wonderful job, and it's about looking at our personnel and being innovative in ways. And it's cool that I have a hand in that as well, but also empowering him and letting him, guide us in that as well. But yeah, for sure. See some creativity soon.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach. We really appreciate you joining us. And we're going to have Mercedes Russell step in now. Mercedes will be here in just a second. All right, we are here with Mercedes Russell. Mercedes Russell with a season high 11 rebounds today to lead all rebounders in the game. And we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. Zach, why don't you lead us off, Zach?
Hi, Mercedes. How badly did you guys just want to get this win for Coach to get her started off on the right foot?
Oh, yeah, it was huge for us. Obviously, Noe's first win as a head coach, and we're super thankful for Dan and what he has contributed to us these past couple years. So thankful for him and his success that he has brought to Seattle, and super, super excited to have Noe as our head coach. Obviously, having a Black woman head coach is very elite in this league. So we're super excited for the rest of the season as Noe as our head coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach. Jeff Ram, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, since you just mentioned Dan, did you guys get a chance to all kind of speak with him, before he departed?
Oh yeah, definitely. Obviously, we had like I guess you would call it sort of an exit meeting when he was announcing his retirement, and it was all positive. Obviously, he's had a tremendous career coaching. I mean, he was telling us, I think he's been coaching for 40 plus years, which is super awesome. I mean, everything was positive. Obviously, we were a little sad to see him go, but we know he's still going to be supporting us. And obviously he contributed, like I said, to us for the past couple of years tremendously.
And then Stewie gave you guys 28 points tonight. Outside of just the scoring, what were you seeing from her out there?
I mean, what I see every night. She's a certified bucket. No, I mean, honestly, it's so fun playing with her, being alongside her in the game. So versatile, athletic. I mean, her size is incredible. So, I mean, it's really fun being her teammate.
And then last one for me. You held your own against Tierra McCowan, but she did have the 12 points and 15 rebounds. What makes her just kind of a difficult?
Dang, she had 15? I mean, she's just a presence in the paint. Obviously, I've been playing against her, my bad, against her for several years. I played against her in college. So I'm pretty used to her game. Obviously, she's a strong presence inside. She's tall, taller than me. So obviously she's tall. But yeah, she's definitely solidified her presence in the paint. And I think as a team, we did a good job on the defensive end, just rebounding.
Thank you, Sadie's.
You're welcome.
All right, Masvida, why don't you wrap us up again, Masvida?
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Hey, Mercedes, how important is it for teams to win games like this where it was an ugly win. It's not my place to say that, but just things don't seem like they're flowing, but yet, 88 points.
Yeah. So that's the good thing about basketball. I mean, we're not going to play the same game every night. We do have this pace about us, but obviously, our offense was a little up and down tonight, and we relied on our defense, which was huge. Like I was saying, the defensive rebounds, and got us a good win.
All right, thanks, Masvida. Mercedes, we'll let you go. We'll bring in Candace Dupree here in just. All right, we're ready to open it up for Candace. If you have questions for Candace, go ahead and hit the hand raise button, and we'll start out with Jeff Brown. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Candace, very cool shirt you got there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is it any special getting a win over your former team or being a veteran? Like, does it really matter that much?
For me, it didn't really matter that much. I'm just glad we got the win. Doesn't matter who it's against.
And then how special was it to give the Noelle her first career victory?
She demanded before the game that we make her look good and get the win, especially considering it was an ESPN game. So glad we were able to pull that out. She got the game ball afterwards, so I'm happy for her.
And then did the pacing feel like a little off in this game at all? I know that they didn't have very many turnovers, so you guys weren't able to get out and transition maybe as much as you would like.
I think if we would have done a better job getting stops, we would have been able to get out and run more. They rely heavily on their half court offense, and so it slowed us down a lot. And that was some stuff that was definitely something we talked about in timeouts and at halftime was, trying not to play at their pace and play at our pace and get out and run.
Thank you, Candace.
No problem.
Thanks, Jeff. Doug Feinberg, go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Candace, obviously you're talking about the pace a bit there. The fact you guys were able to hold them to 73, this defense has been a little bit of a struggle so far as you guys are trying to figure things out. How good is it to get a sort of a good defensive effort tonight against the team?
You thought our defense was good tonight?
Well, I mean, you guys have been struggling beforehand. I mean, giving up 97.
We have. It's definitely something that we're working on, and we're trying to figure out the right pieces, trying to do a better job of staying in our schemes and player personnel, that kind of stuff. Like you said, we did do a better job of limiting their total amount of points compared to previous games that we've had.
And you've moved around to a couple teams. How long does it take for a team to sort of gel defensively with some new pieces in there in your experience?
I think every team is different. Obviously with younger teams, it may take a little bit longer for them to understand all of that. Here, players are smart. We catch on to things quickly. Like you said, it's just a chemistry thing. So hopefully it doesn't take us too much longer to get to where we want to be.
Thanks, Candace.
No problem.
Thanks, Doug. And Percy, why don't you wrap us up with a couple?
Awesome. Hey, Candace, you've probably seen some things in your long career here. have you ever quite seen a team lose its coach after 6 games like this? And just how do you guys get through this transition?
I've actually been a part of a team where we got rid of our coach. I don't know, it may have been less than halfway through the season. So it's definitely not easy. Got to find a way to stay together. I think, the assistant coaches did a great job of rallying the troops. Even when Dan was here, Noe and Klopp did a great job of, communicating with the team. They handle like the offensive side, the defensive side. So it's not easy. And, I thank Dan for everything that he's done for women's basketball, but I trust that Noe will lead us in the right direction.
All right, Candace, thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Candace. We'll go ahead and let you go. And Sue Bird will be up here in just a second. Thanks, Candace.
Okay.
All right, let's get started with Percy. Go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, so I'm just curious about that fourth quarter run that you guys made. They cut your lead down to 12, 64-57. You guys call it a timeout. Just the things that were said in that timeout, and how did you guys close this one out?
Trying to remember.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a funky game for us. Credit to Indiana. I'm sure, when you've lost a couple games in a row and you're on a long road trip, you're going to try to put out as good as an effort as you can. And I think, we didn't really respond at first. So, come the fourth quarter, we just kind of talked about wanting to get back to how we play. They dictated the tempo for much of the game. It felt like maybe that would have been different how we made some of our early shots. You never know. But for us, we just wanted to pick the tempo back up. I think there were moments where sometimes you get in games like this and one play can feel like the weight of the world is on it. And we needed to just relax a little bit and take it one possession at a time. And I think we started to do that in the fourth.
Hey, and just from the outside in and just being like a spectator and kind of watching these games, it's hard to know what the coach does, right? They just sort of sit there or just, maybe they talk a little bit, but you're there. Perhaps you can sort of help us or give us a peek inside. Just how was Noe in her first game?
No, it was great. I mean, I totally understand and respect that, a lot of the conversation around Noe is about this being her first head coaching job and about it, just being the first in general. But I feel like she's just had such great experience given that she was right beneath Klopp in the wobble. In a lot of ways, Noe was talking in the huddles back then. Noe was drawing up our plays. She's been doing that now for a couple of years. So it really hasn't been that much different for us. But to your point, and I mentioned this yesterday, that, when you're the head coach, the buck does stop with you. Every decision ends with you. And that is a little bit different. But from a player standpoint, I really didn't. I mean, Noe is as consistent as you're going to get in a person. And I think she was the same tonight as she has been.
All right, so thank you.
Thanks, Percy. Doug, go ahead, Doug.
Hey, Sue, I asked Candace this. I know the defense is still not where you want it to be, but is it going in that right direction that you were able to hold them to less points you're doing some of the other games, and that it takes time with new pieces, but you're going the right direction, so to speak?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're definitely headed in the right direction. It's only going to get better with more reps. And at this point, the only way you can really get them is in games. There's only so much you can do with the way our schedule is in practice, because you have to kind of balance between getting work in, but also, not overdoing it. So, some of that you guys are going to be witness to, some of those growing pains. But listen, I don't think we played our A game by any stretch. And we were still able to, hold them to 73 points. We were still able to get a good win at home. And, I've said it before, that's the quality that you want to have as a team, to be able to win when it's not going your way. And today for us, the energy just felt a little funky. And that happens. There's no main reason for it. It happens. But if we can find ways to win games like that's a good thing. And it will start on defense. I think when it came down to it, we got the stops we needed to get.
Thanks, Sue. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Doug. Kevin Felton, go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Sue, might not have been that different with Noel as head coach, but you did have that moment in the locker room that we saw with Stewie presenting her the game ball. What was that like?
I mean, I'm just so happy for Noe, just truly deserving. She puts in the work. She takes time out to better herself as a coach. She's already a solid person. And so to be here, I've been with the Storm for a lot of firsts, I've pretty much been here for like all the firsts, maybe except the first win. So to be here for Noe's first win is something I'm proud to be a part of, especially given that she's a Black woman and the first Black person to be a head coach of this franchise. So it's really exciting, and hopefully there's more to come.
I guess same as far as the first, but thanks.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Same as far as the first.
Yeah. I'm like, no joke. I think you've probably been here for all of them. I've been here for like 90% of them.
No, your first year was my first year too. So.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Thanks, Kevin. Jeff Brown, why don't you wrap us up tonight?
Hey, Sue, you touched on it a bit already, but you guys led by double digits for most of this game, but you kind of played at their pace.
Yeah.
How did that go about, or how did that happen?
Sometimes it just happens, they slow it down a little bit more than we would like to. And I think it lulled us a little bit in the beginning. And it was at some point in the second half where we talked about that. We talked about not letting their offense, their defense dictate what we were going to do. And it's funny you say that we're up double digits most of the game, because I think from our standpoint, we evaluate ourselves based on how we're playing, not on the score. So it didn't really feel that way. And I think that's why you kind of saw some of the funk out there. But like I said, a win is a win. And if you can do it when you're funky, it's even better, because it shows you got some grit.
Definitely. And then just talk about Stewie's performance, putting up the 28 points tonight.
Yeah. I mean, I saw the box score. I was like, oh, dang, Stewie, you had 28. It was a quiet 28. And that's what great players do. They just, obviously you're going to notice it when she's doing spectacular things, but Stewie at this point is the type of player that can go drop, close to 30 and you barely notice, because she's just smooth with it. She picks her spots. She gets to the free throw line, which I think leads to some of the quiet points, if you will. But when we needed big shots, Stewie was there to make them. She hit a huge 3 late in the fourth quarter that just kind of gave us some breathing room. And that's what Stewie does.
Thank you, Sue.
Thanks, Jeff. And thanks, Sue. We appreciate you joining us. We thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And we hope you'll join us again on Friday. Just a quick reminder for those of you on our normal media calls, we will not be having practice tomorrow. So it will be an off day for media. I will send out an updated media availability schedule at some point tomorrow. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you later.